Another one, and welcome back. Today we're going to be playing Esper Pixie in best of 3. Been kind of enjoying it a little bit. Sometimes it's a little bit weird in terms of the pacing of best of 3, especially on arenas. Arena pauses kind of in a lot of phases that don't typically happen in paper, obviously. But we are playing Esper Pixie, like I said, and we got a couple of flashy cards in this deck that we really want to highlight before we hop into the game. And oftentimes that is Hopeless Nightmare with the Pixie itself, kind of the central piece and what the deck is named after. But Nurturing Pixie enters the battlefield, pick up a target non-land permanent to put an additional counter on it. That is a may. You don't have to. Unlike Fear of Isolation, where you have to pick up a permanent, that can even be a land. But oftentimes we are getting a lot of value off of it, whether it's picking up a Storm Chaser's talent that makes an otter with prowess that can put on pressure for pretty much free, and also acts as a target for a lot of our own things in terms of picking it up, replaying it, and then maybe doing the cycle. Because with 6 mana on this card, we can then start this town cycle, where this card is 2 mana. It can return up to 2 target non-land permanents to their owner's hand. Has to target one of your own things to be 2 mana, however, and that's where this card gets very good value, where we cast this town, we pick the Storm Chaser talent back up, then play it, and then we can upgrade it, buying this town back, and then doing that over and over again. And it's pretty annoying if you're on the other side, of course. Other than that, it's Hopeless Nightmare, and all these cards here are to pick this card back up, even if your opponent does not have any cards in hand. This makes them discard, unless that happens, of course, and they lose 2 life, which is why this card obviously continues to have relevance, even if they have no cards, because you just keep doing 2 damage. This was 1 mana shock at that point, and it helps our other cards out. Other than that, we're playing a smaller amount of scavengers to kind of buff our board when enchantments enter. We are playing Nowhere to Run for hexproof stuff, shenanigans, also multiple removal spells in once with our other bounce stuff. Momentum Breaker, a discard or a sack outlet, which is great. Destroy Evil picks up a lot of random things. Go for the Throat, just here to pick up a big threat that we might just need to answer that Nowhere to Run can't. And then the 2 kind of dominant cards in the deck, or help fill out cards in the deck, is Stock Up. This is kind of our new Dig Through Time, the new Memory Deluge, if you would. Look at the top 5 cards of your library, put 2 of them into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Works out very, very well as a strong card in terms of finding whatever you need. It's most likely always going to hit a land at least, or a spell of your choosing. And then Kaito, Bane of Nightmare, a absolute dominant card when it hits the battlefield. Just an awkward card to remove overall. It is a 3/4. Nowhere to Run can't take it, but it does have hexproof if your opponent doesn't have Nowhere to Run on the battlefield. So they have to use cards like Sheoldred's Edict to answer something like this. But we get an emblem if we want. Surveil 2, draw a card, which most often the mode will be activating, or tap target creature, put 2 stun counters on it. Against aggro decks, stunning their creature for 2 turns allows us to take over the game, and that one of creature that they have no longer is a threat for a very long time. And then we have our sideboard. We have different variations of Duress in here. There's vacuums kind of separating themselves, but we have Dream's Oil, grab creature or artifact, exile it, and we can also pick one in the graveyard, which is very nice. We have Duresses, Destroy Evils to kind of help solidify that if it's good in the matchups. Anoint, 2 Grim Baubles, 2 Ghost Vacuums, 2 Pest Controls, and 2 Jaces for kind of the domain matchups. Pest for the mirrors and whatnot like that. So, on to our second day of playing best of 3. Let's just go ahead and dive in and see how it goes. Our opponent had the choice. They took the play. Oh, here we are. Blue, white. Here's a Hopeless Nightmare. Drew probably the best card to go with it in a Pixie. Don't really know exactly what they are until they show us a little more information, which we're obviously seemingly going to get. But kind of a timer already. There's Biza. Biza, an awkward card to get rid of because I can always kind of get that back. Arena trying to make me lose the game, which would be sick. They're like, hey, I understand you have nothing to do with that mana. Would you like to actually discard it? Would you actually like to take the turn off and do nothing? I'm like, no, actually. I would not. Combat. We'll do this. You can counter this if they want, but then that's going to take a lot of resources from them. We get to play Hopeless Nightmare, go back in. And miss. Let's play land. Let's fire off Hopeless Nightmare. Turns out, I don't know if this deck's good or just Hopeless Nightmare is just this good, to be honest with you. I haven't actually touched them yet, and they're at 12. I've seen 2 cards, or 3 cards, and they obviously know this town is one of the cards that we play. They hit a land, so Biza could come in now. They'll definitely fit that description. They won't get an extra land, however. Let's play... Well, they could Sunfall me here, which would only be the biggest downside. Then, like, what do I do after that turn? And it's not really anything, right? No, they did miss a land. They got rid of Sunfall. They missed a land. So... I could do Scavenger, play Momentum Breaker. They sacrifice Biza. I pump the Pixie. And then I try to just maximize my damage. Not that the speed will most likely matter in any of these cases, but too many nowhere to runs. These are the first cards we'll probably be cutting. To be quite honest with you. Play our land. Let's move to combat. Boy. Target creature and opponent controls gets it. Let's play a nowhere to run. That means we get to put a counter on this Pixie. This means it lives at 1. It lost, okay. Got enough resources out of it. Still goes up, and then we activate this map on our Scavenger. Sure. A good card. What is your card? Dude, sure. They might think they can find a temporary lockdown, maybe? Oh, good draw. Good draw. Pretty good draw. Here. Looks like they're gonna sacrifice the clue. Here. Fine. Yep. Seems good to me. I think I want to go for maximum damage here now that they tap this. And I can isolate that card in hand. They have less mana to operate if it's just a land. And it's a Biza, so thankfully we go and take it out. Send them down to 6. Then we have Momentum Breaker if they try to hold a card. Obviously, we'll start to turn off with our good old-fashioned Hopeless Nightmare. Then they'll probably go to make a 2/2 maybe. Maybe they have a removal. No more lies. We let that resolve, actually. Decline the pay. So we can put them to 1. Actually, we win the game here. So they make a fish, and they lose 1 life. And then we know where to run it. And then we hit them for exactly 5. Because the counter that the Scavenger will get. And we hit for 5. Very cool. Wow. Hopeless Nightmare. Who would have thought? Very good card. Just taking Control's hand apart. So we are against Control. Nowhere to run, however. Not good. Those come out. No matter what. Ghost Vacuum, not necessarily good. Destroy Evil, also kind of whatever. But it can destroy an enchantment, so I'm okay with having 1 in the deck. Just for the fact that, again, destroys an enchantment, temporary lockdown is kind of whatever. I think we can just go for like a J strategy and a duress strategy here. And go from there. Just fully cut these nowhere to runs. Although we did see this, right? We did see a Horn Lock Whale. But our momentum, we are playing 4. Or no, we're playing 2 momentums. Why did I think we were playing 4? I think I'm cool with this. Just run this back, kind of. Owner gets choice once again. Use their second game on the play. I will keep here. Always have to remember, you have to kind of keep the hands that are a little bit solid or maybe a little less than optimal sometimes when we're in these kind of best of 3 formats. Also, in a situation like this, we definitely go to combat first. Now, do I play Fear, pick up my Storm, or do I just go for a Momentum Breaker? I think I want to go Fear here. Oh, and auto resolve, so no more lies isn't a card I have to worry about. Could isolate with a Momentum Breaker at some point, and then put Prowess on my creature. Stock up. Tapped out for stock up, sure. Now, the hand isolation is definitely going to be tough. We obviously don't have near as strong of a hand as we had last time. We could just board wipe. But if I played both Storm Chasers and got to get to the next turn, it's good. But Ibiza also causes a lot of problems. Ibiza also makes two 1/1s here because we have more creatures than them, so it doesn't really matter. So we kind of hold these back or hold this back. Because they can always just sacrifice a token. Well, we have go for the throat for it. So it's kind of where we're at. Now we'll hit 4. Probably indicates their hand's either really good or they have an additional stock up and they've already used one. Land. Biza. Feels like the right play. Because it sets them back to 19. They're really close to drawing a card. But going to 19 and putting 3 creatures into play does seem pretty good. But fortunately for us, that's not the case. I bet. I want them to interact before maybe I stock up here. Alright, cool. Stock up where I'm at. Maybe not. I'm going to play Storm Chasers. They can interact with that if they want. And I can always discount it. Here. And by this town, we can always discount the Fear and the Storm Chasers to get more value, or we go for momentum. I'll allow it. Suppose. I will allow it, I suppose. Now, if it's like temporary lockdown. No, it's Biza. Okay. That is pretty good. Remove it now. I'm most likely looking to stock up here. They can make 2 1/1s, so that's fine with me. We could this town it. But most likely we're going to see a block here anyway. So let us just actually put as much pressure on them as we can. Oh boy. We'll take a Pixie. Don't really necessarily need all that. And the damaged land will be perfectly fine here. We don't have the swamp, however. Do I just attack like... I think I attack like this after I double map my Fear. Town can go, I think. Even though this town is obviously very solid. Now a smite won't work. Attack. I feel like the block's going to be 1 and 1. They could double block to take out 1 if they have like maybe removal, but obviously Fear of Isolation is kind of reserved for that. I think 1 block. Okay. Fearful of a higher prowess threat next turn. I didn't want to take a full hit. Wouldn't be surprised if Sunfall doesn't happen eventually. Sunfall's not a card that they play a lot of. Aggro is just a little too fast. Split up works. Split up does indeed work. Untap Source would be pretty cool. Oh. Or Duress. Duress would also be pretty sweet. Duress first. Yep. Tear the hand apart. See what they got. Maybe they'll interact. If they no moralize us, I will 100% pay for it because there's like no reason to not. They just full on counter. Sure. That is a thing you get to do to me. We'll play this land they know about. Now I can go for Pixie pickup. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I think I just want to do this and then replay this back down, hitting their hand. Or do I want to do that next turn? I think next turn is the way. Let's play Storm Chasers. Go into Pixie. There's obviously a card it seems like they were protecting. Now I want to say stock up's it, but I'm not sure. But now we can go Breaker, Storm Chasers. Or even attack with our flyer. And a Hopeless Nightmare follows up. Go Breaker. Again, a counter spell here. I don't really care. I'm just gonna rip the hand apart. Idealistically, I'm gonna rip the hand apart. This is always the weird part where if it's a No More Lies, I feel like I want to pay for it. You know? If I pay for a No More Lies. Yeah, they can also make a token. Yeah. I guess that works. I didn't really think about that, to be honest with you. But regardless, this actually, in a weird way, helps us. That means we can now do this. And a No More Lies we can still pay for. Our hand still gets disrupted. There's a Smite. God, no. You got the counterspell this time? Which now it doesn't matter. You would just discard it. I mean, I guess they can counter to exile it. Yeah. Yeah, they wouldn't. Milan. I was wrong. Add maximum value. Just 7. So now they can't activate the Fountain Port anymore. And if it's just like Sunfall, we can go right into Anchorage and get there. Unless, of course, they have a second Smite. Which somehow we get lucky enough to look. Alright, cool. Just like that, we take it 2-0 against Blue-White Control. Just absolutely ripping their hand apart, not really getting the card selection that they want to do. Without that disruption that we have, I don't feel like it's even close. But with that said, move on. Third game in a row in the draw, but that's okay. They keep 7. I obviously can't keep that. We'll keep this and hope it's good enough, and we'll throw back here. Boy. Here. Would assume it's probably burn, but probably a little best. We have Scavenger into Scavenger Storm Chasers. But yeah. Sure. It's gonna be a tough one with our mana that we kind of got going on. Play another Scavenger. Storm Chasers. Oh, hand disruption for us this time. No! Got Boomer Burn. That'd be tough. Makes Kaido a hard card to play too. Yeah. What is her hand? Oh. I've ran out of threats. Ran out of spells. Okay. Interesting. I know we removed that without even reading it, to be honest, but I'm gonna read it now. So I know what's going on. I'm just not gonna hold priority because we are on a timer. Whenever this creature becomes target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, look at the top 5 cards. You may reveal a creature card from among them as 3 mana or less. Okay. Doesn't have prowess or anything. It just says other mice. Here. Monster Straits could protect it technically. That's what they have. Maybe. Oh, these Monster Straits. This one.
Looks like I gotta fight.
I'd like for that to stop touching me.
You're not going anywhere.
I think I hold the Otter for a turn. Although I guess Kaido might just get hit with a burn spell. If it's just a creature attack. Maybe nothing to do. Oh. Okay. Momentum breaker.
Okay. Let's run away.
got like 80 million keywords. Trample, Vigilance, Haste, Lifelink. Go for the Throat can technically get it. We just have to hope they don't draw a protection spell. I don't even know why I'm leaving this back. Oh, I guess it's like also tapped, right? Trample, Vigilance, Haste, Lifelink, Ward 2. Okay. I don't even have to pay the ward. I just learned. It's okay, team. Leave me alone. Hi. Leave me alone. Here. Sure. Combat.
Bet you didn't expect to see me here.
I look for cards. It's been a while since I've played like Pixie to the point that nowhere to run mattered towards the like ward or hexproof or whatever. Typically every time I play nowhere to run, I know I talk about it a lot now that I've been playing best 3 for 2 whole days.
Information
but
is its own weapon.
The nowhere to run, it typically feels like as soon as I play a copy, as soon as I play a copy of it, I never see the Boros matchup or the kind of Sheltered by Ghost matchups. A wall up, kind of protecting herself. This gives Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. What a sick equipment, though. Honestly, like, what a cool card. I've been building dog meat for Commander. I know some people don't really care about that, but, you know, I care enough. But I've been playing dog meat and at least the precon, and I've been pretty excited about it overall. I think it's been pretty fun. I'm going to keep trying to draw cards to set myself up here, by the way.
My eyes
We can go ahead and play Hopeless Nightmare, but I'm looking to play dog meat. I've been enjoying it, and I decided now, above all else, that I want to play it in a little bit like stronger because I've only had the precon for a while. Make a little dune, play a little Hopeless, hit one of the cards in their hand. I mean, we're Esper Pixie. We're not going to show them anything new that they don't know. They might hit us with the Burst Lightning number 3 for 4 damage to the face. Or Helix. They've shown a lot of burn spells, so that's one of the reasons we're also kind of prioritizing getting there. No Helix. Okay. So that kind of tells us what's going on. But now we need to worry about that. Dream is good. Choose an artifact or creature card from it, exile it, but they didn't play a ton. They played a lot of burn spells. They played a few creatures, but not a lot. Grim Bobble I don't think is going to be good enough. They played a 3/3 and a 3/4 mouse. Ghost Vacuum, not good. Pest Control, not good. Anoint might be okay. The rest could be fine-ish. Their card is not necessarily that great. I don't really feel like we have a lot of stock up options. I don't really want to do just Dream. It's this Anoint. I don't even think Anoint comes in. Is this the rare just run it back situation? Like, what happens here? Momentum Breaker can go down to 1. You know, the protection and stuff, I guess. It's like a weird trim protect kind of scenario. Maybe it's that. Not sure. It is honestly one of the weird ones, but we're right back into it. And for the 4th game in a row, I'll be on the draw, I suppose. Which is nice to some extent. Wow. My opponent keeps their immediate 7. Tap land, untap, untap, untap. Pixie, go for the Throat. Maybe I draw well. We'll try this. This is probably a bit ambitious. This might be best of 1 talking. Definitely you've had it talk before. Here. Most likely this is going to come in last minute to come untapped, and if we have to, we'll play a river. Play this like on turn 5. There's not really a scenario in which it's going to be our main attacker at any point here. You have to remember that with a white open, they can always have a protection spell available. Combat. Most likely just going to establish 2 more creatures here. Can't imagine an overwhelming, like, board wipe will happen. Let's go Scavenger. I do kind of want to hold the Pixie, but I just think it's being a little too greedy just holding it. Scavenger gone, sure. Here. 2 and 1, and then we get to play this. Best part about having all this mana, though, is that once we do play the Storm Chasers, we have options. Obviously, no blocker here. Fire this off. Another land draw is obviously not ideal. They do have a lot of burn spells, so we have to answer the Storm now. If we waited, we'd be in trouble. Now we can activate the Storm Chasers. I said Storm. I meant Screaming Nemesis. It's been a long day, apparently. Oh, cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool overall. 5/4. Players can't gain life. We're gonna buy back or go for the throat. I'll go here. Obviously, no attack on the ground. Just hit him for 2. Put him at 11. Delta Bagos obviously would be devastating. They're putting a lot of pressure on now. Full scale activation here. Oh, I already played a land, so if this happens, I'm pumped. If not, all right, cool. Kind of isolate this down a bit. Go stock up. Duress this town would be fantastic. Now, with the small amount of time we have, I think max pressure is where I need to be. I have no idea if that's the right play, but sure. They can target it. They can get a 3-drop. They put it on the battlefield? You may put it on the battlefield if it's your turn? Yeah, dude. My bad. Now I'm dead. Oh, wait, no. Hello? Team? Team? They have exactly enough to do that. Wow. What do I do here? Is it attack 2, hope they have nothing, double bounce? I don't think I can even get enough pressure if I do that. I could go here. If I go here, play Duress, play Storm, I can then bounce this and this. A target? I guess? Yes. Okay. Well, we're probably dead to that, so thankfully we did that. No trample right now, so I'm gonna go for this, and we're gonna try to go for lethal. Pass. I don't know what lethal looks like. What you got for me, boss? Ooh. Okay. Well, now let's hope they don't hit another manifold mouse. Even though last time we could be at 1 in theory, but okay. Sure. Not a whole lot I can do about this. All right. Oh, were we already? No, we weren't. I don't know. Obviously, trample. Okay, let's see it. So, I'll take 1 here, which is a problem. That's exactly 4. So I have to block, bounce, or bounce? Bounce? What if I block, bounce, take 3? I think that actually works out better. So this, then this. Down to 1. I think. Does that get me there? Yes. Because we do this. Lose 2. Arena should not kill me, but just like that, we get there. What a spot, huh? Thankfully, it didn't rely on our dude attacking, but yeah, that was a sick game for sure. But with that, we move on. Oh, I get to choose first. I'll play first. Yeah, sure. No blue in this hand, but also no blue cards, so we're just words off at this point. We be in blue-black. Okay. I think I'm going for this. Put a counter on the scavenger and just hit a card from their hand. Even though it might not be best. One of the downsides playing a discard deck on the play is you oftentimes feel like this, that your opponent kind of has a little bit more cards than you in an overwhelming fashion. But Fairy Mastermind gives us a lot more information that they're just blue-black mid-range overall. And what a draw that was. Let us move to combat. Here. You could play Phantom Interference here. Counter unless I pay 2, of course. We're going to pick up our Momentum Breaker, and then we're going to hold it, making them lose whatever creature they play. Destroy Evil is good, but also bad in this matchup. But I assume second Fairy Mastermind or the Flood Pitch Drowner might come in. Maybe a removal spell with Anoint here is fine. I'm not super pumped about that, but I'm okay with it, I guess. Don't want to waste this town on something like that when Hopeless Nightmare can close out a game in a spot like this. Yeah. Okay, combat. Ooh. It's just 2. Oh. Your hand. Another go for the throat. So it's been Mastermind, 2 go for the throats, and Anoint. Okay. Preacher, sure. I can remove the Preacher. Now, this is one of the weird parts where, like, it sucks that I have to give up a stock up for the turn. I would love to not do that. I could force him to replay this, I guess. By this towning it, making them pick back up, then they take the turn off to play it. But it would only make a lifelinker, I guess, but that's more creatures I have to deal with, and a Kaido's always viable. Kind of figured this was going to happen. One of the things I didn't like. Sure. Wow, I wasn't finding a land anytime soon. Would have with the stock up, but it's Hopeless Nightmare. Just hope that their turn is essentially the same thing. Hey, up to 4 speed. Yeah. Down. Turn up to 2 target non-land permanents. So even when this becomes a creature, I can't do anything. If you want me to crush your hand, I will gladly oblige. Here. We're just going to hold up our go for the third, of course. It's all a sneaky move. Phantom interference isn't affecting me at this moment. Sure. Sure. You discard the last card? No. Okay. Well, I'd much rather this. Now, the only real problem is I'm going to get hit for 6. The momentum breaker does have like a creature on the ground to target, at least. Yep, kind of assumed this was happening. Well, on the 8. Just back down. It auto resolves, obviously, because they don't have anything. There goes Siren. Go pass. Now, at least here we have a nowhere to run to pick off this. We'll let them mill us, I think. They could be playing Jace, but there's 0 chance I'm letting them keep 1 mana open here. Sure. Take 1 less to get rid of this. This is going to be a grind fest here. Land, sure, but it's not. At least it's not what we thought it would be, right? I think I just have to take this out at this point. Even if they're empty-handed, I think I just play the Hopeless Nightmare as well. I guess I take damage both ways, huh? Do momentum breaker here. Because I can always sacrifice this and gain a little bit more life. So I want to hit their hand now. No, I guess I just hold it. Force them to play a flash speed creature here. Here. Exactly what it is. That out. It's their stock up. Pixie's good. Pixie is good. See? Nothing's holding here. So I'm going to go with this. We're going to do this. Like, there's no priority hold. That's the Arena Classic, if you would. Hey, tell me what my opponent's doing without telling me what my opponent's doing, please. Yep, cool. We got exactly 8 damage. Our opponent sees that, and they move on. Sick. All right, well, if we want, we can take a little look-see. We need creature removal. Anoint weirdly cannot remove the Curiosity, so that kind of sucks. Let's look here. So Dream is pretty decent against this matchup. Artifacts, creatures, so on and so forth. So it goes Vacuum dead. Pest is dead. Anoint is dead. The Grim Bauble weirdly is good here. But Grim Bauble's typically for the mirror. But we'll see what we got. Stock Up I never felt like I ever had chance to cast. So I don't necessarily feel super confident in it. Maybe it's cut this, and we'll just go control heavy here. Artifact a creature. Duress and these, I mean, they both just seem good in this match. And Grim Bauble maybe? Nowhere to run doesn't necessarily seem like as big of a deal. It does reach higher, but it doesn't seem as big of a deal. Destroy Evil also doesn't seem like that big of a deal. Maybe I just run this and see what's up. Could go for Jace, but I'm not entirely sure that that's the best plan. But we're on to game 6 in total, I believe. Painful a bit, but a hand that's pretty decent nevertheless, I think. We're going to most likely be getting hit with the rests and stuff, so having a pretty wide hand is good. Although, the main problem being our only removal being nowhere to run. But this town is annoying, and fear is obviously good. Hopeless Nightmare. Unfortunate. We wish. We wish. Sure. Sure. Take a look. Blood Pits is good, but the Curiosity is a much better card just overall and in general. And just getting that exiled is a much better value than this. Let's see it. Cut down. Sure. Grim Bauble would also be a really good draw here. Second Duress, shoot the Sheriff we can pick off. Especially if we're going to go for Fear here. Kind of because we need to. Yep. Yep. Now obviously they get to stun this down, but that's neither here nor there. I don't think they'll ever shuffle it away, but town can also bounce it and another threat here. Oh, they are going to shuffle it. Okay. I mean, I guess they know I have this towns here. See the Hopeless Nightmare just be super faded out? That's crazy. But just like that, we find some pretty good cards. Now, if they draw a land and get to start attacking with this Restless Reef, then we're obviously in a little bit of trouble here. I am going to go for this, though. It's 1 damage over 2 damage, and I get to resolve a spell, maybe. It could have a Duress. Oh, it is a land. It's tapped, though. Activating map here is the correct play, but maybe a slight mistake in a way. It's not like a mistake, but it's a little weird. I can Grim Bobble that, and then Hopeless Nightmare that. I think no reason to just let them keep a land. Because honestly, if I'm them, I'm probably just keeping the card in hand. Now I have to find an answer to this, whether that's putting a couple creatures in the way or something. I can double bounce these as well. If they pass, it's definitely a better card, like an Enduring Curiosity or something. Stock up. Willing to risk a stock up here, I think. Okay. Do yes, like what I grab this. Here. I do believe that most likely it's Enduring Curiosity here, if I had to guess. Yeah. Which sucks. Which honestly just sucks. Like in general. I just don't feel like most other plays made sense. Can't allow 2 draws here. I think this game's vastly over. Maybe I had to bring in Annoyance just to exile that. I'm moving on to the next game. Just the land. It's just so hard for me to deal with. Had it every time. I mean, I guess Destroy Evils clean it up. I guess this is an enchantment, so maybe Destroy Evil isn't as bad as I thought. Means I like it weirdly more than this. On that. I also don't know how my opponent deals with like Kaido and stuff themselves. They haven't really shown anything that can. It's just more or less like I haven't had it and then in any of the games, but on the game 3, I will be on to play this time. Now, this is definitely a slower hand, but with the amount of card selection, I'll be pretty happy with. Try this off. Stock up's obviously a card that our opponent might try to prioritize if they double duress, but if they duress me, maybe go for the throats getting hit. Spyglass Siren is a card that I don't know if I necessarily care about. Might care about it if they sacrifice the map, but as of right now, I just don't care. Because if they sacrifice the map and target, essentially it takes their turn, right? Sure. Huh? Take the 1 damage because it's fine to take 1 in a lot of these spots because there's just no other reason why to do anything else. I think I'm setting a stock up here. They can counter it, but they haven't shown a single one yet. If they randomly hit me now, then they hit me now. Okay. I have not seen a single counter spell from them yet, I believe. And that was the first one. I could be wrong. I bring up Phantom Interference, but I'm not entirely sure that they had that. Lock up. Now we have to answer a Preacher. Do these do that? Okay. I mean, they are cards I get to play. Nightmare. This will make a 1/1 lifelinker, which is whatever, right? Like, that's not the biggest thing in the world. And there is some chance that they keep it back as a blocker, but I'm not entirely sure. If they attack, there's always a chance of a Kaido. So, could I block? I'm not sure. Maybe they'll give me an out. They do. Okay. A card I wouldn't leave on top. I got hold. At 3 on my 1/1. Oh man, it was 3 lands and 2 spells, and then we immediately hit more lands. Not good. Good at all. Do Hopeless Nightmare. Hopeless Nightmare. Just have to pass here. Ooh. Pass here. Blood Pits. Oh boy. And also conveniently enough have this land again. Thankfully they didn't bring it in. We lose. It's over. Holy cow, the cards that they drew and the order that they drew. That is actually insane, man. Let's fire off the Storm Chasers. Hey, little dude. Rinse Ords off. Maybe Esper control? Sure. Probably could have got a lot more value out of that, but that's fine with me. Just pass control right away, but it is what it is. We're obviously going for a Kaido here, which is what would be best for us. Next. Alright, cool. Let me do it. Shieldred's Edict? They just queued up ready to beat me. Nice. They selected wrong. I don't know what. They selected a token or something. So, sure. I literally don't know. They were like, man, I got this all figured out. I'm so ready for this matchup. Hey. At that time, big dog. They are really just... If you're playing Esper, they are after you, big dog. Holy. Alright, let's play here. If I get pest controlled again, am I allowed to scream? Am I allowed to? Even misuse the shield reduce, and I'm still probably gonna lose this game. More toughness on this? It does. Okay. Talk about having the perfect hand, man. That's absurd. Pest control for me. These cards also do nothing against most other matchups, by the way. Just need that to be known. But here I am to do essentially the same thing. What we got, boss? Okay, Storm Chase is pretty good. I think I just do this first. I think I'm on this game plan. Go ahead and take a damage here. Sure, you can gain a life. We'll need to know where to run for this matchup. Also, most likely cutting these. Destroy Evil is clearly a card we'll have to keep. Just for the fact that they obviously are playing enchantments. Most likely temporary lockdown, things like that are going to show up in the following match. Storm Chasers can grab what? Comes to return target instant sorcery from our graveyard to our hand. You can bring up a 1/4. Do I just do that? Grab a this town? Or do I grab a Destroy Evil? Actually, I grab Destroy Evil, right? Because it's just big enough. Then I just probably level it up again. Whenever it's cost instant sorcery. Yeah. Grab a Destroy Evil. Another land for man. Move to combat. Guess I attack and then whenever. Ooh. Okay. Thought they with the Fountain Port they were going to do something else. They're making a treasure, sure. Nice pest control in our Authority of the Council's deck, by the way. Maze Mine is very good. Okay. I'll have to figure out how to beat that card. The 2 pest controls probably got to be 8, right? How do you ever play more than that? Cut down? Creature land's already too large. I think I have to set up for one more turn. Now I have a Destroy Evil that I can use. A whole lot I can do to stop that. Oh. I'm gonna do this. Now I got maps to activate on this, or maybe even on my Restless Anchorage. There. Not. Sure. Pretty good. Up. Yes. We got boss. Sure. Demo field, pretty good. Feel pretty good. They should use it now. Tap them out a bit, but they definitely should use it now. Hey, Kaido, you want to find your way back to the top of my library? I'm just kidding. I'm declining. I don't really need to search for a basic when I have the best card in my deck on top, I think, so. Draw another card. No real way to win it here. Maybe, I guess. There's actually a chance, I suppose. That's a pretty good chance. I haven't done damage to them. Right. Yeah.
Just in time to save the day.
5. Prevail 2. Draw a card. I can go in the graveyard.
Your secrets didn't stay hidden for long.
Whoops. Down to 3 they go. Now they'll gain 4. They'll go to 7 here. Roll it up. Yeah, if you can't tell how bad these nowhere to runs are, for us to cut them immediately, definitely say something. We're all tapped creatures. Another Maze Mind Tome, sure. I'm gonna stop here. Plus Nightmare, we have plenty of ways to pick it up, but I just don't know if that's actually worth it. Much as maybe popping this is. Resolve here. Hopeless Nightmare is going to isolate the last card in your hand anyway, so Momentum Breaker not really going to do me good. I'm going to draw this. I can deal 2. Okay. Draw. So I can do this. Take the last card. I can Surveil Scry off this first.
I've got you beat 6 different ways.
You can take that. Attack. And we'll just hold Storm Chasers. The reason we hold Storm Chasers is for play, go grab a spell. If we have, I don't even know if we have. Does we have a Destroy Evil? I feel. Yeah. I have to bring up land block, which I guess then Destroy Evil's good to grab, so it actually works out. Sure. Just naturally take our card draw here. We'll do that post literally everything, I think. 1, 4, 2, 1. Okay. As long as our mana doesn't tap in some weird wonky way, we should have it covered regardless. Okay. So Storm Chaser is going to grab Destroy Evil, and then we have 3 mana exactly to play a Fear, pick up the Hopeless Nightmare, and go from there. So all we saw was board wipe elements and duress in interaction. So what we need is probably to slow our game plan down a bit, because clearly our opponent does not like us playing the game. So these are bad. This is good. This is good. These are good. Anything else? Momentum is probably whatever. Go for the Throat. It's probably okay to play as a bullet card, right? Like to have as a one of in there. But what other card? Stock Up is very good for this match. I'm gonna have Planeswalker removal most likely. They have Get Lost and everything else. Maybe just 1 Jace is the way to go. I don't want to give up any of my aggression. I don't want to give up Hopeless Nightmares. I want to be able to remove a creature if it matters. Actually, sacrifice creature or vehicle. Do I have a? For me, it's actually more of a. Do I have a way to remove Planeswalkers myself? Not really. I have just player removal at this point. Maybe just trim a Fear. Maybe I don't bring in this many Destroy Evils. Let's go down to 2 Scavengers. Yeah, I like that. I think. See, the lands matter. We see that enchantments obviously matter. If there's ever a temporary lockdown situation that our opponent puts us in, I'd much rather have the higher chance to have Destroy Evils in my hand. Like this, for example. But our opponent goes first. We keep. We can do a couple of things. Now our plan opens up quite a bit more, I think. Yes. Alright. These don't matter. These don't matter. This kind of matters. Day of Judgment matters a little. But I think that matters the most, especially when it comes to getting our Planeswalkers online. I think if I could play Storm Chaser's talent, just force them to keep moving stuff out of my hand. For example, here I can definitely force them to double cut down. And it's not even particularly that bad. But I'm going to play this tap land while I can, and then go for the Concealed Courtyard, place 1/1. Have it get hit with a cut down. Maybe a Get Lost hits this. They have another one. Oh, nice draw. All right. Fair enough. Now I get 2 maps, and now they're definitely going to have to be forced to remove this guy, which is obviously nice. Probably wouldn't even wait, yeah. Sure. This is where Jace is best. I almost just want to slam him. Because the problem is if this is a land and they just get the Day of Judgment, that's much better for them. I'm doing this. I'm just going to take a draw.
Surrender your mind to Phyrexia's.
There's Deadly Cover Up and there's Temporary Lockdown. Nice. I swear I just drew this. I thought it was a dig through time. I was like, it's assets. Smile. And what I mean by that is reusing the same artwork for cards. Obviously, that's not what was happening there. It was just funny. That's what I thought it was. Let's play Scavenger, force him to remove it. And then I will play a Momentum Breaker. Here. Obviously, cut down. I'm going to take off Scavenger. And then we either get Mystery card or Day of Judgment. We haven't played a bunch of creatures, so who's really know? Day of Judgment it is. This is at 2, so at no point will Restless Fortress be able to win from there. Cycling our Pest Control. Pest Control is very good. It's just not the best right now. I have Demo Field. I could try to force him to use the Demo Field now. To definitely have another land draw, obviously. Destroy Evil can pick up this. I don't really want it to do anything too crazy. Plus, there's also a point here where I might minus this on them next turn, draw, and then this talent on their turn. But I can also fear here and pick this up. That's the thing about Jace that I like in this deck, and why I've kind of played it aside is like fears can pick it up, back up. Hey, how about you mill 12? Okay, I'm going to pick it back up again. How about you mill another 12? We don't necessarily need more than one copy floating about. We could just play this Momentum Breaker. Maybe we should. Can't hit us anyway, but if I play Momentum Breaker, they remove this and this gets to hit Jace. But like, at the end of the day, what's that even matter, right? Overall. I think it's just Demo Field. Activating on one of my Restless Anchors. Although I do, to some extent, am not like a huge fan of that kind of activation. Just because what ends up happening is like now if I bring this one up and I make it larger and larger and larger, you don't have a backup. But maybe they have third cut down. I was just getting ready to say, I was like, maybe they have third cut down and just lo and behold. They bring this up and attack, then that's their entire turn, right? Unless they, of course, have a land in hand. But that doesn't, like... They gain life. I guess they drain me, right? Or does it have to attack me? No. Okay. They're getting everything they want. So we plus here. Let's do Storm Chase's talent. Make a little dude. Make our little doodad. We just need 2 mana here. Don't really need much else. Okay, we do hit a land. Could have bought a spell back, I guess, but I'm looking to destroy evil here. Okay. Destroy evil, maybe this town. Who's entirely sure? 42 cards left. 11 in the graveyard. That works. I'll let them drain again. The little life again, I don't know if it matters. Toughness 4. And we get there. Very cool. That's why Destroy Evils is so good. Destroy Evil is so good. As you see, I ranked up again. I don't even remember. I think I mulled to like 5, got slammed, and then mulled to like 5 again and got slammed again. And I just felt like that match was like not worth covering because I literally did nothing, which sometimes just happens in best of 3. You just like a best of 1 where you can sometimes just get hard variance. In best of 3, sometimes you do have to maul because your hands just aren't functional. But hit plat 1 again. Overall, have a pretty good like arc in terms of winning. So, oh yeah. All right, so here we are playing the Esper Pixie list where we get to play stock up. This is obviously very nice for us in this type of deck because and those slow grindier matchups where we don't necessarily have all the pieces, or we have the incorrect pieces, especially in best of one, where like nowhere to run oftentimes can find itself being bad against, for example, our last matchup there, where it's a bit more Orzhov control-y, but nowhere to run, obviously bad there. So we need cards like Stock Up to just ignore them and bypass them in the draw order of our deck and grab other things. Even grabbing more lands is oftentimes more valuable than nowhere to run can be in those spots. But overall, this list felt very good, felt very clean. This is probably what I'll be playing if I'm playing Esper Pixie, at least in best of 3. As of right now, obviously, we're a little bit stacked on some spots, have a little trims. But a card that we're weirdly impressed is Destroy Evil. Destroy Evil felt pretty good. A lot of things randomly have 4 toughness or more, especially lands, not being kind of forced to play Demo Field. Just play Destroy Evil instead and just have it pop the lands whenever you need it to, which was quite funny. This town continues to be pretty good, also annoying, obviously, for opponents, and then Hopeless Nightmare also being pretty good. But the sideboard felt fine. Maybe Jace's can probably just be a one-of, but I felt like having 2 is nice just to find it a bit more consistently, and also just able to kind of barrel it against some of those matchups, especially like Domain, where oftentimes they're going to respond by either getting rid of it or putting it in the graveyard, and you just played it that turn, so you barrel it for maybe 4 or something and mill 12, and then the second one around, oftentimes you hope that you're able to pick it back up in response to maybe a removal spell, so you can hit them for another 12 or something like that. But outside of that, everything went well, everything went fine. Kaido as a 2-of, maybe a little low overall for my liking, because oftentimes Kaido can win games on its own or cause your opponent to do such weird plays that it forces them into really bad spots. But with that said, I hope you all enjoyed the video anyway, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.